I lived through it, Tucker. I lived through it by this man's side for those 7 years. The moment that he got the nomination, we watched as the hidden power centers in this country came out from underneath their rocks and began to pull the strings that they control. They began to leak information designed to sabotage him at every turn. So you ask me, what is Donald Trump's crime? We know it's not a financial crime. We know it's not a campaign finance crime. His crime is refusing to bow or bend to the corrupt and rotten foreign policy establishment that is used to always getting their way in this country.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and on a recent episode of Down the Crapper with Tucker Carlson, it took an extra flush to dispatch nationalist turd Stephen Miller. Looking like a spokesman for a hemorrhoid cream company, former senior Trump advisor Stephen Miller pulled the page out of the Heinrich Himmler playbook and went on a tyrannical rant in support of his orange Fuhrer.
So there really is a uniparty on the most important questions.
Well, there's obviously an ideological disease that courses through Washington when it comes to foreign policy and the sacrifice of our interest to foreign nations and foreign profits. But it's even deeper than that. And I know this because I also worked on the Hill for almost a decade. The intelligence community is able to manipulate the intelligence process and their relationship with lawmakers in order to obtain the answers that they want from Congress. Then Donald Trump comes up onto the scene of Washington, a man with whom they have no relationship, a man who has no affinity for them, who doesn't care about them, who doesn't value what they value. And this for them is a panic moment. It is a panic moment. And we are now living in the 7th year of that panic, turning our entire democracy upside down. And I will tell you, if a prosecutor in Manhattan can take control of our entire presidential election process, then by what definition can we say that we even have a democracy in this country?
As the world is waiting for Donald Trump's mugshot to be released, these two dimwits are gaslighting to the very end. It is important to note that Donald Trump is facing 34 counts in New York indictment and could possibly face some serious jail time.
Stephen Miller, I'm just wondering what you think of that. I sort of came to that after watching this Trump saga for the last 7 years. That seems to be the third rail, really, is the foreign policy questions.
Donald has been indicted on 34 counts. For all of those keeping track, that's 34 more charges than Hunter Biden has. The weather forecast has called for flooding. A deluge of magateers has had Trump's closest brown-nosers gasping for floaties. And Miller is one of those floaties that just won't flush. Mary Trump even said that her uncle, the nasty Cheeto, knew the difference between right and wrong. He just never thought it would ever apply to him. The Mango Mussolini is terrified because this is the first time he has been held accountable, and it is just the beginning.
They begin to use every organ of control they have in the intelligence community, the national security community, the law enforcement community, to try to control him and to control his presidency.
The arraignment will be world news. Donald's pouty face will be on every television across the globe. Every group that the tangerine toddler has done wrong will be celebrating. Hunter Biden will probably be watching from his laptop. Whatever Tucker Carlson and Stephen Miller have to say about the indictment is irrelevant. Miller was the main architect of Trump's border policy of separating families seeking asylum and putting kids in cages. There's a special place in hell for his rotten soul. Most of us remember when Republicans had no problem with nudity when it was Melania Trump, so they shouldn't get worked up over the hush money payment that Donald made to a porn star. And Stephen Miller, you were wrong. That payment is a violation of campaign finance laws. Trump is not above the law, and neither are you. It would be epic if you found yourself in a Mexican jail somehow. No one is making an example of Donald the Dumb or out to get him by weaponizing the law. It's just that Donald Trump is a criminal. He's just like the mob that he claimed were the only ones to plead the fifth. There is no other way around it, and Tucker Carlson's rendition of the January 6 riots are make-believe. He has been the author of Fox's demented Trump-stained fables. All Tucker is doing with this pathetic loser is trying to distract everyone from laughing too hard when the mugshot is released. They want to build up some sad feelings for the orange tyrant so that it won't be as embarrassing on his sensitive ego. Seeing Tucker and Miller in a single frame is enough to make one vomit a little in their mouth. They are disgusting bottom feeders. Miller is a special kind of evil. We all hope that the lawsuits that Fox is facing will shut them down for good. They all have blood on their hands, and that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.